Hello everyone, I'm NTom64.
And I'm THD.
And welcome back, I should say, to the HellfireComms playthrough of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga for the Game Boy Advance. Yes, much like with God of War 2 and The Misadventures of Tron, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga was one of those games back in the ye old times of HellfireComms circa 2008 or 2009, I've honestly forgotten exactly what year it was, that we never really got around to finishing. Maybe we got like 4 or 5 parts in, and then we just dropped it. In the case of Superstar Saga, it was due to technical issues, something about like USB ports frying sound and making it really hard to like listen to and record, but since then, got a much better PC, much better recording setup. I'm actually playing the Wii U Virtual Console version of the game, and boy, it looks pretty at 60 frames per second, I gotta say. And I fucking love Superstar Saga, alright? It's gotta be up there for me as one of my favourite games, and I know you, Helldragon, you feel the same way.
Yeah, Superstar Saga is probably one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. And the problems I have with this game are very personal, very quibbly, I admit. But I legit believe that this game does nothing wrong. The graphics are great, they look great, even, for the Game Boy Advance. The animations are top-notch. The music is memorable. The characters are dynamic and they stand out. The storyline even has a few good twists. And the gameplay is why I keep coming back, to Mario and Luigi. And it's just damn near perfect all around, in my opinion. I legit have little bad things to say about this game.
Wow, this is a first for you, mate, because very little passes your gaze without being scrutinized to hell and back.
Some nostalgia may have to carry into it, but at the same time, even these days, trying to look at it without any bias, I have little bad things to say about it. I freaking love this game. It's fantastic.
I can't believe that Nintendo insists on pushing their Toad agenda. They've even gone and made Toad the star of the Mario RPGs.
I know, it's completely ridiculous.
It's kind of unique to have, you play as a Toad for a little bit at the start of the game, but nay, this is but a prologue to Superstar Saga, and don't ever walk in on Mario taking a shower. It's just embarrassing, really. It looks like Ron fucking Jeremy, though.
I don't know. Really, only the princess can verify that. I guess we'll have to ask her. I mean, after she's done being kidnapped by Bowser, as is the wont to do for the standard Mario agenda.
It's like the 4th time this week. I can't believe it.
Pretty sure Mario could schedule his entire day around, get up, have breakfast, walk the Poochie, go save Peach, do some plumbing, and then go to bed.
Launch Luigi into Bowser, thus escalating this civil war of sorts.
That's pretty much how it started, I think. I think Mario just accidentally bumped into Bowser, one day standing in line, and he's never let it go.
Yeah, that's Wario's supposed backstory, Mario was mean to him on the playground, so Wario decided to be a wanker for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that was in one of the comics, and I know, at one point they actually fought over what kind of gift to give Princess Peach. Eventually, Luigi got her something, which made her both mad.
Ah, nice. Okay, we're going to kick things off with an explanation of how Mario and Luigi gets the gameplay done. Son, if you've played Paper Mario, you know how this works, but Mario and Luigi gives it a bit of an RPG twist. Unlike in Paper Mario, where you can guard and, you can power up yourself to do more damage, here it's stat-based a lot, and the main defining characteristic of the Mario and Luigi games is that you can basically dodge almost every enemy attack in the game, providing you know that enemy's particular pattern. And in most cases, you can, even counter. But if it's flame attacks, like Bowser here is wont to do, you're not going to have much luck countering that.
This is what makes the game really stand out for me, the whole Mario and Luigi RPGs, and I feel it's a great natural evolution to the Mario RPGs, because like you said, it started off as a very kind of traditional, turn-based kind of thing, lots of stats come into play. The first Super Mario RPG was developed by Squaresoft, after all. So, this whole Twitch-based gameplay, evolving, former use of action commands in the previous games makes every battle so much more interesting, and it makes bosses in particular extremely fun to fight, especially in the later games where the attacks and the cues to dodge those attacks just gets crazier and crazier. It's always a treat.
Oh Jesus, explosive vocabulary.
Man, I was laughing so much when I first played this game because One thing I love about Superstar Saga, and I'm going to preface that by saying I'm going to say that a lot in this playthrough.
Oh, why not, man? Why not? It's the right game for it.
But one thing I really do love about Superstar Saga is that it has a fantastic sense of humor. And even in the later Mario and Luigi RPGs, it doesn't really do that. But here I believe because of the limitations, and again, just because of strong writing in general, everything is very zany. Nobody really takes it completely seriously. It feels very Looney Tunes, Tex Avery-ish, especially with animations on particular characters. It just brings the game such a level of charm that hasn't been replicated since, and that's why I feel Superstar Saga stands out so much among the Mario games.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Peach. Bowser ain't gonna be taking that home. And that's like, you mentioned the word traditional. I think that describes Paper Mario the best, because it has its silly moments, of course, what Mario RPG doesn't. Even Super Mario RPG had its comedic moments back on the Super Nintendo. But I always viewed the Paper Mario series as more traditional. It's kind of like an entry-level franchise for people wanting to get into the RPG genre. It's very simple. You got your turn-based stuff, you got your partners, but there's really no stats per se to take into account. But here, you've got stats, you've got the reflex-driven gameplay. So I always felt that, again, like what you said, Mario and Luigi was the perfect evolution to the Mario RPG formula, because you can play Paper Mario and then you can move on to this. It's kind of like the RPG hard mode, if you will.
Yeah, the great thing about it is that, building on top of that, it's very experimental when you look at it, because many Mario games have a very traditional, simple formula. Something happens to Princess Peach, Bowser's usually behind it, Mario has to stop them. But with this game and with other Mario RPGs, they managed to take a lot of creative different cues. Like, for example, this game does not actually take place in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's just the Beanbean Kingdom, the neighboring one. It has a new villain, it has new enemies, it has new characters, things like that. There's still enough to make it memorable in Mario. Like, it doesn't feel alien. But at the same time, because they're allowed to experiment, they come up with a fresh new take on Mario that the RPGs have usually repeated since.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way. Actually, before we do talk about that particular subject, just be truthful here. You will be rewarded later. Bowser went that away.
Yeah, don't walk into the wall, buddy. Usually does not help.
Anyway, what Hell Dragon was saying. Sticker Star and Paper Mario Color Splash, for the most part, don't do much to innovate. And in fact, they've kind of devolved the RPG aspects of the Paper Mario series, removing the need to battle in most cases. And, I'll give Color Splash this. It looks fantastic. I hear the humor's on point, but it's still pushing that Toad agenda, which I said as a joke, but you take a look at it for more than 5 seconds and there's something going on there. But Mario and Luigi was always the more exciting one, the one with a bit more bite, the spicier of the two RPG franchises, and I think that's why maybe they wanted to focus on it a bit more and maybe turn Paper Mario into something else, because, look, I'll be honest, I can see where Nintendo's coming from when they say they don't want, like, two of the same sort of game, because they are basically the same type of game. They're both RPGs featuring Mario in a turn-based setting, if you want to simplify it like that. But, even back in the day, they had, like, F-Zero, Wave Race, and Mario Kart Double Dash, all racing games, all coexisting peacefully. But nowadays, it seems they just want to, I don't know, streamline it a bit. Nintendo in the Wii U era is all about streamlining, sometimes to their detriment. I don't really know where I'm going with the sentence, but the point I'm trying to say is, I love Superstar Saga, okay? I'm a politician now. All my answers end with the answer you want to hear.
Man, this ought to be good to see this answer during Donald Trump's debate. Well, what's important is that I love Superstar Saga, alright? But I wanted to build off top of that. I have to agree that a lot of days, Nintendo is a lot about streamlining, and I really do think it is to their detriment, because, like we've said before, Superstar Saga and Color Splash, they kind of play too close into making things really simple, playing too close to what's familiar. And then there's Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Now, I know you like that game in terms of its mechanics, and I think the mechanics are really good too. But it's easily my least favorite because the story and setting are completely fucking boring. I didn't finish that game. I fell asleep, and that's a metaphor. But at the same time, there was nothing there. Remember, This came off of the heels of Mario and Luigi Dream Team, a great game. Yes, it had some similar stuff with Bowser's Inside Story, fair enough, that's a good legit complaint. But it was a new island, there was this cool dream mechanic, Luigi was super important, that Phantasma guy, and then they punked that out at the last minute and made Bowser the villain. Fuck you guys, by the way.
Yeah, that's a very Paper Mario sort of twist, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, despite that taste in my mouth, you know, still, Dream Team did so much cool different stuff. And then here's Paper Jam. Something happens to Peach, Bowser's behind it, Mario has to go stop him. But this time there are paper versions.
Well, let's get this out of the way right now. Give me your ranking for your Mario and Luigi games, mate. I need to hear it from your own mouth.
Okay, from best to worst, Superstar Saga, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Dream Team, very narrow second place, because it does copy a lot of stuff from Bowser's Inside Story, but the setting is better. Third is Bowser's Inside Story, where, not my favorite of the games, but it does a lot of interesting stuff. I do like the focus on Bowser. Giant battles can go fuck themselves, I'm sorry. Fourth one is Partners in Time. I understand all the problems with that game, but it's not necessarily a bad game, it's just kind of meh. And fifth is Paper Jam, because even though the mechanics are great, and I will give you that, and the giant battles are way better, the story and setting are so fucking boring that I just didn't care. And for me, that's a very important thing I need in a game. I have to care about the setting and the plot and all that kind of stuff.
In an RPG especially, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even though you're not making a ton of great choices here, but still, I mean, Superstar Saga, some of this is nostalgia, but it's painted such a strong picture for how I feel the Mario and Luigi RPG should feel like.
Right, here's my list. I'm going to go in reverse order this time, from my least favourite to favourite. Don't worry, you're not missing a lot here. It's just Luigi showing off his, at the time, new streak of cowardice, which I think kind of began maybe in Mario Tennis for the N64. I seem to remember him cowering a little bit there, but it's gotten like more and more parody-like as the years have gone on. Sometimes they make good use of it, sometimes it's a bit cringy. But anyway, my least favourite is Partners in Time. Very dull follow-up to Superstar Saga. I wasn't a fan of them taking away the bros attacks and replacing it with items. The story's not that great. I'm not a fan of Baby Mario and Luigi. I feel that whole system complicated the formula of Superstar Saga, and the villain's not that great. It's got some decent music here or there, especially the final boss theme, but the one after that would actually be Bowser's Inside Story. I like Bowser. He is a great foil to Mario and Luigi in these games, and to Mario in general in Paper Mario, even though I'm not scoring that series here. But I'm not as big a fan as playing as him as a lot of other people are. I didn't really care for the giant battles. I didn't hate them like Helldragon did. I just feel they could have been implemented better and not through like touch controls. The story's I don't like one of the characters we'll be meeting soon as the main villain. Music, pretty good, so I'll give it that. Then we have Paper Jam. Mechanically, probably the best in the series. It feels good. I like Paper Mario alongside Mario and Luigi. I think they work great together, even though none of them, you know, really converse all that much. And Paper Mario, he's kind of like a mime. That's cute. But like Helldragon said, story kind of non-existent, so that's why it's in the third place. Second is Dream Team. It reminded me the most of Superstar Saga in terms of like settings and tone and whatnot. What drags it down is the absurd amount of padding towards the end game, the unnecessary motion controls and such. I'm not as big of a fan of the final boss. I will agree with Helldragon there, but I don't really hate the twist per se. But yeah, it's the padding that mostly lets it down. Superstar Saga is in first place because it's the most simple. You've got Mario and Luigi in a different kingdom. They're just doing their thing. The story never gets too complicated or goes too far up its own. Arse, the Beanbean Kingdom could essentially be a parody of the Mushroom Kingdom, an affectionate parody. You've got like you jump, you hammer, your hand attacks, which we'll be seeing later. It never really takes too long to execute super attacks in battle, which is something I could really, you know, give the later games shit for, because it gets a bit stupid at points. Paper Jam, as much as I love it, has a problem with this. And yeah, Superstar Saga, it follows the KISS rule, keep it simple, stupid, and I feel that's why it's lasted the test of time. Thank you for watching the HellfireComms playthrough of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. This has been our review of the game. See you next time. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's fucking 16 more minutes to go, and you are staying right here, my friend.
Oh, So yeah, we're on Bowser's ship right now. This is essentially tutorial central. We're gonna bop about, get a few items, and then go and meet Bowser on the deck.
Yeah, but it's not, like, bad. I mean, like, a lot of this you can still kind of gloss over, and just the fact of them teaming up to help stop the person who did this to Peach's voice, so then Bowser can turn right around and kidnap them again.
Yeah, that's the best thing. He's not even the villain at the start of the game. Someone's already beaten him to the punch.
That's when I feel, like I said before, you know, this series has had a chance to experiment with a lot of different stuff, and I think these days Bowser is much more effective and just good as a character, as a foil, as opposed to a straight-up enemy. Now, if you want to keep him the enemy of the games, do it for, like, the main ones. Okay, that's fine. But, you know, with the RPGs, you have that room to experiment, and I really feel you should take it. And that's probably why the twist of Dream Team hit me so hard and got me so pissed off. Because they basically pissed away a chance to develop Phantasma as a kind of a cool, interesting new antagonist. Oh, it's Bowser again. Yay.
Yeah, we will be discussing the other games, so if you've been spoiled already, I apologise, but from now on, spoiler warning, I guess.
I really like this sequence because basically what you do here is that you let this Koopa Troopa take your pictures for your passport, and he tells you not to make faces when he's doing it, so naturally, you're allowed to make faces while he's doing it, and you can customize it a little bit. Just a little small thing, but I always liked it.
Gotta get the timing right. It's kind of like a battle, in a way. But don't worry if you get it wrong and you end up with a kind of bland pose. There are like other photo opportunities throughout the game with different poses, I believe.
I'm trying to remember all the different poses you can take. I actually believe my first time throughout this game, I took his advice seriously and I did not pose at all. So I just had Mario and Luigi just kind of standing there looking disinterested. And I'm like, oh, I think I fucked this up.
Oh, good guy, Hell Dragon. Oh, don't press up, down, left or right or you'll get a JoJo pose going on.
I'm trying to see which of these poses are... Yeah, you can actually kind of run through them really fast to see what they are before he takes the photo.
I like the idea of Mario being the coward in this instance.
It's very rare you kind of see Mario display this sense of physical humor, because he's very much the straight man. And I have to say, I like how these games kind of gave me a new appreciation for Luigi.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like when I mentioned with Dream Team, Luigi is such an important and useful character, and they characterize him pretty well in that game. And it just gives this great new side of him. I saw that, by the way, and I believe that's one I tend to take with Luigi. You know, it gives him this interesting side that just makes him so memorable in my eyes, and it's actually really helped me appreciate Luigi as a character way more than Mario, actually.
Man, you gotta get into the Luigi's Mansion games where he is the king.
Something like that. I've heard good things about those games. I would probably, if I did play one, I'd probably get the one in the 3DS, because again, it's a pocket one, I can jump in and out. And the fact that they kind of dial down the deliberate Resident Evil, you know, connotations with that kind of game.
Well, you can play it with the light on if you're scared, it's fine.
I have seen that one video of Luigi's Mansion online, you know, that animation that one guy did.
You're gonna have to be specific there, that was super vague.
Oh, that's true. I guess I'll have to link that to you. And that's basically your reward for helping this guy out. You get a 1-up mushroom, although the early fights aren't really going to be that hard. Don't worry about it. I have to say, I know later on, like in the later games, they actually have added a lot of options to kind of make the game easier. Although, to be fair, a lot of the attacks in the later games, especially for bosses, are way harder and crazier to dodge. And I actually appreciate them adding that level of challenge, you know.
Okay, not too far to go then.
Well, okay, I see that barrel twitching back there, you know, that's kind of setting me off a little bit.
Just ignore it, it's probably a Goomba or something. I have a choice and I choose not to fight.
Luigi, you'll have to figure it out yourself, I'm sorry.
Dude, I've already fought the king of your army, okay? I think I'm gonna be okay.
That's true. I mean, at this point, Mario has done it so often that it's basically an in-joke at this point.
Shall we break the barrel? Well, we don't really have a choice there, but that's typical Mario RPG humor, giving you a choice and then making you, like, do something obvious anyway.
As you know, Mario cannot jump over a barrel, even though his name is Jumpman.
Even though his first appearance pretty much had him jumping over barrels thrown by Donkey Kong.
That's true. I mean, if it's standing on its bottom, he's powerless. But if it's on its side, he could just completely jump him.
Okay, so Mario's controlled by the A button, which is just floating there menacingly, now it's grayed out, and Luigi is controlled by the B button. Don't get those two mixed up, or you will be in for a world of hurt later on when the bosses really start hitting hard.
It's very important to be able to kind of recognize what button to press at what time. And, you know, I'll just give you a cheat here and now that kind of works great in all the other games. If you press both of these buttons basically at the same time to dodge, like in unison, you should be good for like 80% of the attacks you have to face. But there will be bosses that will target particular brothers, and they'll mix up their attacks as well. So for those, you really have to watch out, because a wrong button press will get you damaged, so be careful.
That whole thing about pressing both buttons at the same time, you'll see that a lot throughout the game. That's my reflexes kicking in, honestly.
Yeah, you can really get away with it more in this game. Later games, though, they mix it up deliberately more often, so you can't just rely on that as a cheat.
Okay, can we get on and kill these Goombas, please? Are they even part of your army? Like, why are we using them as cannon fodder? I mean, they are cannon fodder, but you don't really say that to someone's face directly.
You know, I have to really wonder about the recruitment drive that they have for, like, you know, part of the Koopa troop. Like, does Bowser's people put up, like, posters? Like, what's the pay? Do you get benefits? Do they pay their way into Goomba College? Do you think Goombella's college could be paid with credits from Bowser's troop, now that I think about it?
That's an alternate universe. We don't discuss the Paper Mario world here.
That's true. Oh, well, at least until the game where they actually cross over, you know?
That was such a good opportunity to have some other Paper Mario characters, like, come in. I think that's my main problem with Paper Jam's story, is, like, they have Paper Bowser, they have Paper Mario, they don't bring in, like, I don't know, Cammy or something.
It was a decent enough idea, and even though it was deliberately reusing assets, fair enough, they just never really did enough with it. Like, if, like, the 3D, like if the Mario and Luigi, and I can't believe I said that, went into the paper world, you know, kind of do like the 3D thing they did in Super Paper Mario, something like that. Like, I think that would have been great, but they just didn't bother, so meh.
There's no random battles in this game. All the enemies you'll find are on the overworld, and there's like a very familiar RPG kind of feeling here. Like, if you attack them first, they'll take damage and sometimes even be dazed. But if they attack you, or, you know, you accidentally hit the enemy before going into battle, then it's you who will be dazed, and it's you who will be taking damage.
This is the game that spoiled me on traditional RPGs, because at this point, you know, I was mostly used to dealing with random enemy encounters. This is the game that made me go, I don't like those anymore, and that's why I haven't returned to most other RPGs. I don't like random encounters.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the level up animation in this game.
Man, all of the animations are great, especially during battle, and you'll notice, we'll be hearing that a lot, but I really feel the battle theme in this game is the most iconic of them all, and the best part is just watching all of the crazy animations that Mario and Luigi do, with all the different attacks they can do, but a lot of it is just fucking dancing, and that's what everyone remembers about Superstar Saga, the fucking dancing.
Yeah, the sprite work's incredible. It's no wonder there's like a ton of animations, like Super Mario Bros. Z, the original series, used Superstar Saga sprites, didn't they?
What's so odd is that series is back now. They've only done one episode so far, and it's basically a remake of the existing already episode, but still, like, it's significantly improved.
Well, it came back, but it got DMCA'd by Nintendo, I believe, so there you go.
Well, that's not necessarily gonna stop them, I would think. I mean, I certainly hope that doesn't stop A Fox in Space, which is probably the only Star Fox thing I've ever really liked.
How do you make your Mario and Luigi in the game? Do you have a particular build for each one, like Mario's the powerhouse, Luigi is the speedy one with the defense?
I'd have to say that's probably the closest thing I do, because it's like, one thing I'm really paranoid about in these games is I really do not like getting a brother killed, because if he doesn't complete one battle, he's slightly off in experience, and that totally triggers my OCD like you have no idea.
Well, there are certain points in the game where Mario and Luigi do get split up, so how do you feel about those exactly?
I just ran from all those battles because I'm like, I cannot have one brother getting more experience than the other. I can't. But going back to that build question, you know, like I said, basically what you said, I tend to have Mario, they're built that way. Like, Mario tends to have more power, Luigi has more seed. He actually has more stash, which is a kind of a catch-all attribute that does things like lucky hits, gets you discounts in shops, which I really like. So
yeah.
He kind of tends to be geared more towards that, as how I typically set him up. But usually the best shit just goes to Mario first, the second best shit goes to Luigi.
Okay, I guess Luigi's up there on the crane there.
Well, he won't do anything about it, but just saying.
We've been flying for a long time. Are we even near the border yet?
Well, it takes a while to cross countries. Give it some time.
Ah, good.
Is a joke gift for Bowser like Lysol? Like, I could totally imagine Mario just getting him that and just pissing him off.
Luigi, you okay? You got a bit Bugs Bunny up there, mate. Oh, jeez!
Not my Koopa Cruiser. It was made in my image. You know, easily defeatable.
Oh, damn. Oh, Cackletta. Here's a villain for you. I love Cackletta.
Cackletta is easily my favorite villain in this entire series. That and her minion, Fawful, who we will see in a minute. She really benefits a ton from the animations in this game because she's just so exaggerated and everywhere. It's really hard to forget about her, and that's why I like her so much. And here's Fawful, our boy!
Oh, yeah. Like, Cackletta is kind of like a dark reflection of Peach, in a way, all very regal and whatnot, but whereas Peach is more reserved and, you know, royal, polite and such, Cackletta's a bit of a brute, honestly.
Yeah, everybody remembers Fawful for his very distinct dialogue, and I'm glad he came back in, like, you know, Bowser's Inside Story later on, because that's what happens. I didn't feel he was as good there. I don't know, the writing didn't really seem as strong, but I think here is probably his strongest appearance.
Yeah, the mustard of your doom and so on and so forth, and it is battle time. Bowser gets taken out in one hit. Is he worthy of the Koopa King tile? I think we're stronger than him at this point. We should take over Bowser's army.
I'm pretty sure we could. Mario is just too good of a guy to even bother.
Alright, let's do it.
Now, Fawful here isn't too hard. He's basically your first real battle. Like, I believe you can actually lose this. Pretty much all you have to do is hit him on the head, you know, his headgear here. Bowser will actually tell you this in a minute, but based on words that Fawful says in certain colors, he'll actually indicate which brother he's about to attack with his projectile. So, again, pretty easily dodged, though. Not too bad.
I could have said no, but I didn't want to... Like, Bowser's already down. I don't want to kick him and throw salt in the wound, you know?
I do like how he crawled off screen, apparently went behind the barrier. See, he's doing it again!
Well, this is classic Mario. You played the Mario Bros. Arcade game that they stuck on basically every Game Boy Advance Mario game, right?
Yeah, that's true. This game actually lets you play that with friends, which is a nice little bonus.
They put it on. I have no use for it, but other people enjoy it, so there's nothing really to complain about here. But yeah, it's like Hell Dragon says. If he says think rat and it's in red, he's aiming at Mario, and likewise with green for Luigi. So it's a very simple kind of pattern here. He'll get harder as the game goes along. This is not the only time you'll be fighting Fawful, but for the time being, this is a pretty good tutorial fight just to get you into the game.
Enemies later on will have more obvious hints. They'll usually have physical colors and things like that, particular gestures they make. So it really pays off to watch how each enemy attacks and plan your defenses accordingly.
That's his headgear taken care of. Now he's going to basically roll at you, so keep an eye on that bespectacled fucker over there.
Fortunately, he tells you that now he is going to ram you, just to let you know.
He's so polite.
I suppose, for an evil bean guy. I guess he's a bean.
He is a bean. He's from the Beanbean Kingdom. Everyone in the Beanbean Kingdom is a bean.
So they have beans and they have mushrooms. I'm trying to see what other vegetable-based kingdoms they have.
God, he's creepy. The teeth are far too big for his mouth. I think that's what makes him seem, like, off.
Yes, the headgear is literally called headgear. Don't read too much into that.
He could have just jumped, mate, come on.
With those legs, I don't think so.
Hey, I'm easily a tulip, okay? I'm not good enough to be a rose.
Mario took a shower this morning, come on.
Yeah, we saw him take it. Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
Again, easily defeatable.
Well, I guess that's it for the Koopa Cruiser. And maybe the Mario Brothers and Bowser to boot. Okay, guys, we'll see you this afternoon for another part of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.